Okay, we are live. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending where you are. Good to see everybody back again with another live stream, a live unboxing. Here, as it happens in real time, we have the Dell XPS 159530 here in the studio. This is my own personal unit that I purchased. This is not a review unit from Dell. I needed another laptop for my wife, actually, and figured why not kill two birds with one stone. We have a pretty decked out version here. It's the only one available actually to buy. So as far as the processor and the GPU, it's the Core i9, and this also 13th gen. It also has the RTX 4070, I believe, on this. I believe it's the 4070 GPU. So that's going to be an upgrade from last year, hopefully, and from the year before that. Remember, I purchased the one from 2 years ago, the one in white. So good to see everybody here. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's say hello to a few people as we start everything underway here. We got I said hi to Carlos Espinoza. We got Raphael here. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We got William Cohen here. Okay, good to see you as always. Jimmy Zhao, hello from Canada. All right. Up north, that's great. Hello to Andy Kyler, one of the great channel members of course, and a great supporter of the channel. Ben is here. How are you, my friend? Carlos is here. KC Carlos as well is here. Vaporizer Bobby is here. And all the others are here. Alfredo, once again, a regular. And we've got Sid here. I think I saw Silk 95 here as well. I don't know where you are, but anyway, I think I saw you earlier. All here, well and good. All right, so how's everybody doing? So we finally got the Dell XPS 15 into the studio. Again, I purchased this one. It's not a review unit. I do anticipate getting a review unit very soon from Dell, but just want to let you know this was purchased with my own personal funds. So it wasn't cheap, of course, but when it comes to the wife, she deserves it. So why not go big? Why not go bold, right? So hope you can see me and hear me okay. We're also streaming on Twitter. In addition to this, of course, YouTube. Good to see Black Cell 22. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you. I appreciate that, Black Cell 22. And then, of course, we have Ibrahim here. Hello. Good to see you. All right. So let's see how many we have here. We got about 50 of you, 47 to be exact. So we'll wait about another few more seconds and then we'll get this out of the box. Now, I will, of course, do a separate video on this. I'll do a full review, of course, but I will release a condensed version of the unboxing. So for those that don't want to stay through an hour plus live stream as we normally do, then you can always get the edited down version, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to record this unboxing live and then repurpose it, obviously, add few more benchmarks in the initial run, and then, of course, put it through the paces and do my full review. So now I do anticipate getting the i7 version, which I don't think is available just yet. I think only the i9. So again, link for the availability and everything, if you want to buy one, an affiliate link, of course, so I will tell you that, is in the description below. It is live, ZZ. Your eyes are not deceiving you. It is happening in real time. Good to see Robert, our good moderator, and of course, good supporter of the channel and good friend. So Black Cell almost got this Dell XPS 15, but went with the Spectre 360 instead because he hasn't regretted for a minute, although the XPS carbon fiber looks sexy. So just to premise this, and I can understand your reasoning, I love the Spectre line, you know that. So we're not going to see a revision here or any changes in terms of the exterior. It's a tried and true design, although I probably would think we're going to get something new as a redesign maybe next year. I don't know, but so far they're sticking with their tried and true design here. And I'm not faulting them for that because I really like the design, the look, the sleek look of the XPS line. Now, of course, we're not seeing a radical change like we did on the XPS 13 Plus. a redesign, a futuristic look. This is the same pretty much design. Where you're going to see the benefits or the gains here, at least on paper, is going to be in the processor and, of course, the GPU. Those are going to be better than I would hope than last year. But, of course, the proof is always in the numbers. So let's see what it all comes out to. So Lucas ordered this XPS. It should be here in the mail next week. So let's see what you're going to get, Lucas. Let's get it out of the box. So let me go to this top-down shot, okay? And let's get this out of the box. So let me turn on the secondary mic for the other. Let me get that going, okay? So might hear a little bit of echo, but this is for this. You can hear it a little bit better. All right, so without further ado, let's get this out of the box. Okay, let's put the knife away for now so I don't cut myself. Okay, maybe I was a little premature putting the knife away. Okay, let's hopefully that got it. I always do this. Okay. I never open the box cleanly. Okay. Let's take the plastic off. And no surprises, very premium packaging so far. And there she is. I don't think they're offering this in white. I didn't see an option like we did a couple of years ago. You get your power cord, no surprises here. We've seen this before. You get your 130 watt power charger right there. You can see it there as it comes into focus. Pretty nice, pretty compact. I think that's the same we've seen in the past. And then, of course, some documentation. So 9530 and some regulatory information, warranty, safety information, yada, yada, yada. We've seen all this before. Let's file that to the side. So this is the same like I've seen so far. Okay, so this is the little hub they give you, little adapter, and of course it has HDMI in it, and it also has a USB-A on this side, and then on this side, I think that's about it. So they give you. Let me take the plastic off, and it has a flip-out USB-C port connector. So again, HDMI, and then of course USB-A. So we like to see that. And then of course, nice that they put it in the box. Of course, there is no HDMI port or USB-A port for that matter on the unit itself. And that's it for the box. And of course, we have the unit itself. And here you can see it. Now, again, the physical exterior is going to be the same as we've seen in the past. So it has a little bit of heft. You can see it here. And there she is. Okay, it's a little blown out because of the silver here, but of course you're going to have the carbon fiber in the interior. You can take a look to see the full-size SD card reader over there. We'll look at the ports in a moment. And on this side, you get the two Thunderbolt 4 ports. Let's take a look at it from here. Let's see, of course, you know you can open it with one finger, and you can. So there it is. I have the OLED, of course. I only go with the OLED because I love OLED, but that's just me. And then, of course, you have the carbon fiber deck in here. And I'll get to your questions and comments in a moment. And by the way, if you can put a Q before your question, that will help me identify it easier. So 9530 here, gorgeous design. I still love this design, people. Love the keyboard on it. Always have been a fan of it. Carbon fiber deck is gorgeous when there's no fingerprints on it, but it will collect fingerprints at some point. And the exterior is prone to getting scratches. I've had that in the past, although you may want to get a skin from, say, D-Brand. Of course, they're not sponsored, but just might be something you might want to look into. And again, I like this overall sleek looks here. So looking pretty good. And here's what the keyboard sounds like. So pretty nice looking design here. Okay, so let's take a look at and we'll switch to this camera here. So on the left side, we'll get to the ports right now. You have your Kensington lock port, 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports. They are full function, supporting data, charge, and display out. And then, of course, on this side, you're looking at a USB-C 3.2 Gen 2, not Thunderbolt, by the way, but it is full function, and a full-size SD card reader, and a 3.5 millimeter microphone headphone combo jack. So build's looking good so far. So build's looking good. Nice solid hinge here. You can see it here as far as very little screen wobble. It's on really nice. Now, one of the things we want to make sure is that the touchpad is on nice and tight. Let's get a listen. Seems okay. But of course, I'll have to see how it works in real world usage. And then that is pretty much it as far as what we've seen in the past. Let's get to this shot again. And let's get it plugged in. So I'll connect it to my Thunderbolt dock from Dell, which I use. So let's turn it on. All right, so let's get some of your questions. And by the way, a great way to support Andrews by hitting the like button. Thank you, Raphael. I couldn't agree more. All right, so build quality. Dell is known to be atrocious when it comes to its laptops. You know, they've had some issues, but I haven't really had too many bad things. This is I buy these personally. In addition to getting review units, of course, you know, I tell you what's what, but this is definitely bought by me. This was not sent by Dell. I will be getting probably the i7. This is the i9. Anyway, so this is, as far as build, I think it's built very well. It's the machined aluminum. It's all metal. It's got the carbon fiber. It's absolutely gorgeous. I personally like the design. I like the build quality. Of course, there's going to be a lemon here and there. Everybody experiences it, whether it be Apple, HP, Lenovo. I'm not apologizing for Dell, but I'm just saying what the facts are out there. So just keep that in mind. All right. Question from Larry: how does the hinge make a slight popping noise when opening and closing? So let's find out. I don't hear a popping noise. Let me turn on this microphone. You can hear it better. So it's closed. No popping noise. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. So no popping noise, Larry, on this one. Not to say that maybe somebody else might have heard a popping noise, but I did not hear it. All right, so let's get it set up. In the United States, yes. Okay, let's get it set up. We'll run a few benchmarks. Now, the camera is going to still be 720p. Not crazy about that, of course, especially in 2023. I was hoping for an upgrade there. Not expecting that, but then again, you could always add an external one. Dell makes a good one. I have it here off camera. It's a 4K, the Ultra Cam or whatever they're calling it. Let's skip that. And then let me connect to my network. Just let me put it on me for a second here. as we have, let's see, 67 of you watching. Okay, so let's go next. So 9 Snaga is asking, are you disappointed the camera was not upgraded? Yes. I would like to see upgrades in that department, especially hybrid work environments, especially working from home. People definitely would like to have that. Now, it wasn't terrible as far as a 720p webcam. It's just not 1080p or above. Look, let's be honest. HP has been killing it with their cameras. We looked at it on the Dragonfly, both the Windows version and even on the Chromebook, which had an 8 megapixel, unheard of on a Chromebook, by the way, had some of the best out there. So really, I mean, and Lenovo's doing a great job also. So definitely would like to see an upgrade in that department, that's for sure. All right, let me put it back over here. All right, so let me sign in and let me do all my things here. Let's skip this for now. And let me put my credentials in. So that's going to be up next. Oops. Hope I didn't do anything. I just knocked over. Oh. Sorry about that. Okay, what's going on here? I hit the wrong button, by the way. So now I'm not sure what's going on. I hit over my Stream Deck and... Oh, we're back. We're back. That was a little nerve-wracking. Let me put in this, and then we'll get to, once we get this set up here in a moment, I'm going to use it better off. I'm not going to put in my credentials. Unlock the, sign in. Okay. I'm just putting it in without going into the Microsoft account. Let's see if I can do that, because I don't want to, because I'm going to give this to my wife anyway. So I want to let her put her credentials in. All right. So let's, I don't want to put my, let's get next. Let's go to next. I'm not putting any of that. No, you cannot use my information. Okay. Let's just get through this Windows 11 setup here. Question from Steve. Is the touchpad anywhere near as good as the BMP? MacBook Pro? Is that what you're asking? I like the haptic touchpad of the MacBook Pro, if that's what you're asking. I do like that. I also really liked what I saw on the HP Dragonfly Pro with its haptic touchpad. And while this is where this is doing its setup in the background, getting its updates, let's get some more questions. So yeah, I definitely would like to have, if they're going to make a redesign next year, I want to see a haptic touchpad. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was more akin to what we saw with the XPS 13 Pro. No, I understood. I got the gist of that, Steve. Tommy's asking, what size is the battery compared to last year? It's all the same. It's all the same. In fact, I think it's, what is it, 86 watt hours? Let me go to Dell. Let me get my keyboard up and running here. Dell XPS 9530. Let's get you some of the specs here. I believe it's 86 watt hours. Let me go down here. So the primary battery is 6-cell, 86 watt hours. So I don't expect to see anything different other than the processor. It's a 13th gen processor, the Core i9 13900H. I have the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 with 8 gigabytes of GDDR6 video memory. So we have a touchscreen here, and you can see it here. This is the OLED display. And if you want to know what the resolution is on the OLED, let me just go there. You can get it in 15.6 inches, 3.5K, 3456 by 2160. So that means you're looking at a 400 nit anti-reflective coating on this, according to the specs, and it's an Infinity Edge touch display. We've seen it before. This is the display. It's absolutely gorgeous. And you can even see it here in this camera. It really is it is a little reflective. It's also a touch screen, and you can see it there. So that is the display. All right. So Let's turn it around and let me load in a few benchmarks, but it's absolutely a beautiful display. Okay, question from Steve. Let me get to that in a moment here. Is XPS 13 Plus or XPS 15 batteries important? I was thinking i5 and Full HD. Thoughts? i5, the Full HD will give you better battery life, Steve. So you may want to look at that. All right, let's, and then as far as 15-inch versus 13, which one are you more comfortable with? You need the extra screen real estate, so that's going to be another thing to consider. So I am a big fan of the XPS 13 Plus, so keep that in mind. I do like it, so just something to be aware of. OLED, according to Mahmoud, nice. How much is this laptop? So let's go. We can actually go to the website. Well, let's get it all set up with the internet, but it is all set up. Let me go to the Dell's website here, and I can show you, instead of just telling you, I can show you what's going on here. So let's confirm and start browsing. Let me go to Dell XPS 159530. Let's do a search. It's probably going to do Bing because I didn't set up Chrome on this. Here, XPS 15 laptop. Okay, so let's show you what I'm doing here. All right, so you have two choices here. You're looking at a 13th gen, and that we'll look at 12th gen in a moment. And the reason I want to look at that as well as pricing is because you're going to save some money, some big money on that. So starting price of $23.99, and that, of course, gives you 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now, it's only available right now with the i9, but from my sources are telling me i7 should be going live next week. So if you want one with an i7, those holding out for that, you will be able to do that. It has the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070, 8 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, and we'll take a look at how many watts that is as far as TGP and so forth. And then, of course, you can go the memory. I got 32, so we're up to 2549. And then I picked, I went with the 512 because I'm going to put my own drive in anyway, so I didn't really want to spend on that. And then, of course, the where you're going to obviously get some more premium payments here is going to be on the display, $28.49 all in. And then with tax here in Nevada, I spent a little bit over $3,000. So not cheap. It is a premium product in my opinion. And then if you go to the 12th gen, that one is $11.99. So $11.99 starts, and then of course you can go up from there. You can do, and I want that, you can go to i7 12700H, or you can go to the i9 12900HK. So all decked out. Let's just go to that one. And then the 3050 Ti, we looked at that last year. Let's say 32 gigabytes of RAM. Just be conservative. And by the way, upgradable by the user. There are 2 SODIMM slots, as well as, I believe, 2 SSD slots as well. Let's just stick with the 512. Let's go to the OLED. And then that one also is available in the frosted exterior with the white Arctic white. I have that from 2 years ago. I could probably bring it in later on. So that one brings you to $22.49. So it's a lot cheaper, about $750 all in than the 13th gen. I'll get to your comments and questions in a moment. So 13th gen, you're looking at the way I have it configured with 32 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigs of SSD storage, OLED display, i9, 4070. You're looking at about 28 and change, about 3,000, all said and done with tax here in Nevada, in Las Vegas. So, all right, let's focus on this. Let me load in some benchmarks. Let me connect it. Hold on. In fact, I can connect it to my dock, so you can keep that out of the way. Yeah, I bought it, Josh. I bought it for my wife. I bought it for my wife because I'm a too nice of a guy. So we'll see if she likes it. We'll keep it. If not, we'll see what happens. But all said and done, $3,000. Yeah, good to see Josh, right? Everybody, if you're not subscribed to Josh, great review channel for laptops, of course. I'm sure most of you already subscribed to him. So let me load in some of these benchmarks. Let me go to my downloads here. Let me bring this in. Hold on. Okay, and then I do expect to get a review unit. For those who are joining us late, I do expect to get a review unit at some point once the review team sends it out. But I believe I'll be getting an i7. So This is the i9. So we'll be able to get a comparison whether or not it's worth the extra money to go to the i9. That will be, of course, a good question. All right, let me go to my downloads and let me go to Geekbench. Let me download Geekbench. And let's do a quick Geekbench 6 test. That'll get us going here. You can see what I'm doing there. Let's download this. And then, of course, let me go to my Dell as I'm going to put in the power settings. Let's make sure the thermals are set to performance mode. And then, yeah, she's very lucky. I'm the lucky one, Josh. I'm the lucky one. All right, so power. So this looks a little different. The My Dell app looks like it's changed a little bit, right? Okay, so let's see what we have here. Optimize. So you have optimize, cool, quiet. Let's, of course, put it on ultra performance. So that's set there. And then, so I kind of like this layout a little bit better. And then let me go, and I hear the fans are kicking in there. Let me go to the balance here. Let's put this into best performance. Make sure everything is set correctly here. Of course, I'm connected to the HDMI through this Thunderbolt dock, so it might take away a little bit of the performance. But let's load in the Geekbench. I hear myself. I guess one of my phones here is anyway, turned off the volume. All right, well, this is loading in. Let's open that up. Let's go there. So exciting stuff, people. Exciting stuff. I hope you're containing yourselves. I know this is exciting. But we just do it. This is how we roll here. All right, so good to see Josh here. Who else is here? Nice to see. Yeah, definitely great to see him. Yeah, and here's, by the way, Raphael, thank you for putting a link to Josh's channel if you want to make sure you are subscribed to it. Let's see if the 35 watt 4070 on the XPS better than a 65 watt on the 3060. Yeah, so let me just do a real quick. Let's go to NVIDIA Control Center. Let's just confirm that. Let me agree to that. Let's confirm that. I want to see the output on this as far as the GPU. And let's make this larger here. Let me go to the system information. If it will load, there it goes. Maximum graphics, 50 watts. Yeah, so this is 50 watts. So we'll see what the 4070 can do. So for those nerds that want to see the stats here, it looks like it's 50 watts. Okay, let me close that. Let's get this run. Let's finish that. Let's close that. And that should load in a moment. It's doing things in the background, of course. Let me take your next question. Here's William. Did your wife not like the XPS 9315 you bought her last year? No, she needed something for her job. She needed something with a little bit more horsepower. So figured let's kill two birds with one stone. I don't know if she's going to keep it. We'll see. Of course, you know how women are. You know, I better be careful because if I want to be able to sleep in the bed, you know, in our bed tonight, if I won't be in the doghouse, you know. All right, let's run the CPU. I think you're not here for the comedy, right? I could tell you're not here for the comedy. All right. So how's everybody doing? Let's see what other questions that I might have missed. Steve is asking, do you think there will be an XPS 15 Plus? I was talking about that a little bit, and I'm also a big fan of the design of that 13 Plus and would like the screen of the XPS 15. We might be heading there. I don't have any inside information. I don't have anything. It's just speculation on my part and conjecture, but I definitely think it's definitely maybe something that they could consider because I actually think that was a really great design. Some people didn't. Good to see Mallory here. How are you? You were doing well, laugh out loud. I was, okay, until that. This machine should easily meet her needs. Yeah, no, she needs something. And I kind of pushed it on her a little bit so I can do like an unboxing here. Let's be honest. I figured let's get a little bit of benefit out of it. But at the same time, I want something that will last her at least a couple of years. So the way she uses it, I think it should. There is some graphics performance she'll need out of it. So maybe this 4070 GPU will fit the bill. We'll see. And very, very wise saying, a happy wife is a happy life. Yeah, you're not kidding. I'm glad you're doing well, Mallory. All right, so let's, while this is running, okay, let's take some more of your questions here. And again, keep in mind, I haven't updated any driver updates or any firmware. I'm sure there will be no Windows updates. This is fresh out of the box. So might get different scores, probably a little bit better scores on the full-term or long-term testing. At least that's been the history. So we'll see how this all comes. Yeah, how this all comes together. All right, so we have 72 of you. We have 39 likes. So do me a favor. If you can hit that like button, that would be great. While this is running the benchmark, I think there are things happening in the background, so just keep that in mind. All right, so let's see what else. Yes, no, Mahmoud, I didn't see too much screen wobble here. Very little. The hinges are great. Hinges are looking great on this. You can probably see it here. I don't see anything in terms of screen wobble. And then let's see if there's any flex. Not really. Again, carbon fiber deck. I don't want to hit the keyboard while this is running. So did that not give me my result? Huh. Did that not give me my result? Did I do something just now? Where is it? Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's rerun that test again. I don't know what happened there. Maybe when I was pushing down, I don't know. You know, it's been a little buggy, Geekbench 6, to be honest. So maybe that's just a bug. I don't know. All right. So while that's doing that, Carlos is replacing an XPS 13 with 10th gen from 4 years ago with a 9530 that should arrive next week. Yeah. Well, maybe we should try to give them something else. They got the XPS 13. Maybe now the 15s, Josh. But yeah, it seems like maybe we should rethink the Dell. Maybe we should give them something else, like a Lenovo, HP. I don't know. I like Dell. I mean, some people, they criticize them. Of course, there has been some issues. But at the end of the day, I like the design. I've always been attracted to the XPS line for some reason. I think I just like the design from the aesthetics point of view. Maybe superficial, I don't know. But they've always worked well for me, for my needs, for my type of work that I do. Again, I edit most of my videos on DaVinci Resolve now, or even Final Cut Pro, and I'm using the MacBook. I'll tell you what, the M1 Pro, MacBook Pro 14 that I picked up, and again, I bought it on sale, I think $16.99. It was like $400 off. Base model, basically, I think it's 16 gigabytes of RAM. It works out fine. And I'm editing graphics. I've got plugins on Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve, and it works fine for my needs. So, you know, I just go with what works. Raphael's asking, do I prefer Dell or Lenovo? I don't have one preferred brand over the other. I've said that in the past. I mean, if you make a good product, I like it. I'm not specific to one brand, although I appreciate working with Dell. I appreciate working with Lenovo, HP, etc. But as far as do I have one brand over the other that I like? Not really. I think they all bring something different to the table. And I go with that. Now, this is a 400 nit display, so it's looking pretty decent here. So, again, a little glossy, but of course I do have a lot of lights. And according to William, at the end of the day, to each their own as far as personal tastes go. And I agree with that. Yep, and I think Josh agrees with that also. The XPS is very pretty. They're prettiest for sure as far as... So I'm not sure what's going on here. I think I have to keep this, maybe because I didn't have that open. let's restart Geekbench, because I think it's more to Geekbench than I would imagine it is, because I've had some issues with Geekbench 6. We might move on to the next one because it's not showing. I've had this happen before. Remember when I think we first booted up, and I think it had something to do with. Let's get Chrome in there as well. So in fact, let me bring Chrome in. So let me load that in. And then we can get a couple. I want to at least get a benchmark in here. Now, what is upgradable, by the way, while we're doing this, is the fact that you can upgrade the RAM, the SSD. We're looking at DDR6. DDR5 RAM, GDDR6 video RAM, by the way, 8 gigabytes. So that should help out with the graphics side of it. And then, of course, having DDR5 RAM is pretty good. So I've opened up last year's. I don't think we need to open it up. I think it's exactly the same from what I understand. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get ambitious tonight. Maybe we'll do it. It's the same thing. You can check out the video. All right, let me put it on me while I put in my credentials here. And let me go here. Happening real time, folks. And again, I'll release a video on this. So for those that don't want to sit through all this, I wouldn't blame you, but of course you want to see my pretty face, right? I mean, how could you not want to see me? All right, so although judging by the reaction from the Alienware desktop that I did, people were not too pleased with me, I guess. I don't know. But I know, I got to try different things, and I don't want to limit the channel. I want to grow the channel, but I also understand why a lot of you are here as well. So, all right, so that's loaded in, and let me put that there. Okay, so let's rerun this. Let's not show that again. Okay, let's run the CPU. Maybe we'll get lucky this time. How does the trackpad feel? So I looked at it earlier, Brian. So let's take a look. And I don't want to cancel this, but I did take a look at it when I opened it up, and it seemed like it was on pretty good. I don't think there's any issue there. Oh, I hate with this shit. Sorry, pardon my language. So let that load in while that's running. So I haven't seen too many issues with the touchpad so far. And again, it's only been a few minutes, but we'll see. Oh, thank you, Raphael, for letting them know so they can really hate me even more. Third time is a charm. We'll find out. I'm not sure. I have a feeling it's the Geekbench. I've had issues. We'll get to the Cinebench next, but I've had issues with regards to the Geekbench. So it's the same display. It's the OLED. Looks good. So hopefully we'll get our result here, because I really want to see what the ultimate result would be here. So we'll see. Let me go back to your comments and questions. So the trackpad seems okay. Again, we'll give it. Why is the display not 120 hertz? It's only 60 hertz. That's the other thing, right? A lot of these OEMs are moving to high refresh rate displays. We saw one. Where did we see that? We saw at Lenovo. They recently upgraded a lot of their laptops, at least 90 hertz on some of them 120. Apple has the mini LED, 120 hertz. So yeah, I mean, it would have been nice. And of course, I looked at the Samsung Galaxy Book 3 Pro 360, the Ultra, and all that. Those had the dynamic refresh rate that switches between 60 and 120. And then we looked at the Lenovo Yoga 9i Gen 8, which had 90 hertz. So yeah, kind of surprised. But again, they didn't change anything in terms of the display. The exterior is remained the same. So there you go. I'm glad you like it, William. I'm glad. It means a lot. It really does. What happened with the Alienware? No, nothing happened, but I got some nasty comments. I loved it, actually. I thought the Alienware, first of all, I had a lot of fun playing games on it, number one. Number two, if you're really serious into gaming, that's a great one to check out, especially if you don't want to do any kind of custom build. I know some people love that custom build, but some people just want a pre-built that you can come in and just get, right out of the box, start gaming. And that's exactly what that brings to the table. So I enjoyed it very much, but obviously didn't get too many views on it. And look, this is not working. The Geekbench is not working. So we'll see. But as far as that Alienware, nothing wrong with it. It's just that, and then I got a few angry people angry with me for actually liking a desktop. So I don't know what to say about that. There's nothing to say. I don't even want to dignify that. Hey, my tech review. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. We'll look at the webcam. All right, let's go to a different. I'm not getting a Geekbench score here. I'm not sure what's going on here. So maybe we need to do a restart. But we'll get to that later. Let me load in. Let's do a quick one, of course, which is Geekbench or Cinebench rather, R15. Let's do that one real quick because that won't take too long. We have 80 of you. Good to see you, everybody. Looks like the stream is okay. I'm looking at it here on YouTube. And then, of course, we're also streaming simultaneously on Twitter. Yeah, I've had this happen to me. I think a restart might be in order for that. But let's at least see something here, right? So the Cinebench R15 will test both the GPU and the CPU. So the GPU... OpenGL. Let's do that one real quick. So let me put that on here. Boom. All right. So that's preparing that. I already hear the fans, and we'll take maybe when we do the next test, I'll get the decibel meter out on my watch, and we can see how loud the fans are getting. Pumpkin Jumpkin. Hi. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, why this Geekbench would not show me my result. I think it maybe has to do with a restart, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. So we'll get our first score. The OpenGL will test the frames per second on this RTX 4070. That is a 50 watt, so again, they have to contain the heat in this. So we'll see what kind of score we'll get. And then we can maybe even compare it. And I'll do it in the video. We'll compare it to last year. I have that here. And I have the year before as well. So I have 3 versions of this. So we're going to get our first result right about now. And a pretty decent score here. 207.57. Again, things may be also running in the background. I took a screenshot. Let's get the CPU test. Hi, Andrew and Josh. What do you think about the Apple M2 chips not having the AV1 encode and decode engine? That is a question for Josh. I'll defer to Josh on that since he's more of an Apple expert than I am. Are you going to try any gaming on this tonight? Probably not on the live stream. I don't know if we're going to have time, but I could maybe do a couple, but we'll see. The VRAM 4070, the VRAM is 8 gigabytes of DDR6 VRAM. So these are pretty decent scores, by the way. Let me take a screenshot of this. 2184, all right, on the Cinebench test. And let's quickly do the R20 while we're here. And maybe we could take a look at the speed of the SSD. I only got the 512 because I'm going to put in a bigger one. No pun intended, but I'll put it later on at some point. So, all right. So this is unpacking that one. Let's see what else we got here. So Steve is asking, what do you dislike about this laptop and the XPS 13 Plus, if anything? I'm going to start off with the camera. Not that I hate it. It's just that here we're in 2023. I would like to see 1080p at a minimum. No excuse here. And we'll take a look at it in a moment. Let's get the Cinebench R20. That's my biggest complaint. And then, of course, some people have had quality control. I have not experienced it, but I know other people may have, so I'm not going to discount that. So that might be something. What I do like, love the aesthetics, love the way they look, love the fact that you're getting a discrete GPU in a sleek and slim form factor, especially for a 15.6-inch device. And by the way, I expect to also get the XPS 179730 as well as far as a review unit. And that is one I also love, especially for those that want to have the graphics, so maybe even a little bit better graphics, but also the bigger or the better or bigger screen, more screen real estate, I should say. And and also the vapor chamber cooling. This does not have the vapor chamber cooling. That's the other thing. Can't keep everyone happy anymore these days. Nope, I guess not. Good to see you, One Bad Man. I appreciate that, Tommy. Thank you. And when I say, look, let me say this, and we'll get to the super chat in a moment. Let me say this. Whenever I do something a little bit different than a laptop, and again, I can't continue to do the same things over and over. I'll go out of my mind. I like to review a gaming desktop here and there. I like to review a tower here and there. By the way, I have the XPS desktop tower with a little bit of a redesign from last year, also here. And I will have a video on that in the next day or so, or maybe a couple of days. Thank you, Christine Roy. I appreciate that. So $5. Hi, Andrew and Josh. I am shopping to replace an old Asus laptop, leaning towards a MacBook Air for some home productivity and entertainment. Good choice. Yeah, I think it's a good choice, especially for the type of stuff I think you're probably saying you're doing on it. But of course, Josh, if you're watching, you want to chime in. But yeah, I think it's good. Now, I wouldn't get it if you're doing any kind of graphics work or anything that's going to have a sustained workload. I would look at the MacBook Pro if you want to stay within the MacBook realm. So that's just my 2 cents. And by the way, thank you so much for that $5 super chat. I appreciate you reviewing different things from time to time. I appreciate that. Here we have our CPU score, by the way. Very good score, by the way. And I should check out what we got last year on, and maybe we'll bring it up in a moment. I want to compare last gen with this gen, 12th gen versus 13th, or the 9520 versus the 9530. And I have some benchmarks we can take a look at in a moment. Let's just get this done. So that's 6030. That's pretty good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back on me. I'm going to restart it and try to run the Cinebench one more time. Not the Cinebench, the Geekbench, just to see if I can get it to work. I don't know why I can't get the result. In the meantime, let's take some more of your comments and questions. And I hope you are enjoying this. And please, if you are, please give a thumbs up. That really helps. Getting the engagement certainly helps the algorithm here. So definitely certainly helps. So while that's restarting, and let me put it back on this one. All right. Yeah, and again, I'd go out of my mind doing the same thing over and over, and I'm sure it gets boring for you as well, right? And why not try to open it up to a different audience as well? I don't see how the harm in that. Now, I got a few nasty comments on that Aurora, and not nasty, but angry almost, like, why? How dare I review something from Alienware? I mean, come on, right? So I don't know if it's their brand loyalty, which is kind of ridiculous, but trying something different helps my mental sanity, of course. So we'll see. All right, let me get the Geekbench up and running again. Again, I'm going to try this one more time. If it doesn't work, then I'll have to see what's going on with that. So let me put it back on here. And again, RAM is upgradable. SSDs are upgradable. I think it has 2 slots. So yes, so Josh agreed with the choice of the MacBook Air for Christine Roy. If you're doing consistent intensive tasks, I'd get a MacBook Pro 14. That's my go-to that I use for pretty much my video editing at this point. Although I'm going to give this Dell XPS 15 a little bit of time as well before I turn it over to the better half. All right. Try running the Geekbench instead of trying to give us an idea of how it runs. I might try Geekbench 5 next. We'll see. I hope I have it downloaded. Otherwise, I'll have to find one. Steve gave it a bad review. So I didn't read that. So maybe I should take a look at that. Steve gave it a bad review. I thought it was very good. But again, I'm not a desktop expert, but the numbers I saw as far as the thermals and as far as the performance numbers, the power out of that 4090 was great. What people are criticizing about that Alienware is the limited upgradability. They use a lot of proprietary stuff in there, so upgrading it is not going to be the easiest. So let me run this again. Let's see, one more time, right? Yeah, paying the bills, browsing, you'll be fine on the MacBook Air. So you should be fine. It's a good laptop. It's a solid laptop. I use the Pro because I need the sustained workload capabilities that it provides. It's what they've done. Let me say, I'll give a compliment to Apple. I know I criticize them a lot, but let me say this. As far as audio, there is nobody that I mean, Lenovo comes close with the Yoga 9i, but as far as audio, the speakers on the MacBook Pro are the best in my opinion. They're the standard. And then as far as the touchpad, again, haptic touchpad is excellent on that. And then display is good. I don't care for the notch, as I've said in the past. And the performance is good. What they're able to do with their ARM chip is pretty amazing when you think about it, keeping it cool, quiet, and efficient, and giving you a good battery life. That's not easy to do. Not easy to do. I'm listening to the fans right now on the XPS 15. All right. So hopefully we'll get a score here. Hopefully. Let's keep our fingers crossed. If not, I'll move on. Maybe we'll try to get Geekbench 5. Maybe that will work. But I've pretty much moved over to Geekbench 6 at this point because their single core measurements are a little bit different how they go about it. I've noticed. So we'll see. I always like to run the latest, but maybe it's not working for whatever reason. Again, I did a restart, so we'll see. All right. So Steve is saying I should do a custom desktop build. Always enjoy watching PC builds and desk setups. So you like that. So I would love to do that. If I get enough demand, I would do that. That would be something that would interest me. That would be something. Comments and updates for the algorithm. Yes, that definitely helps. Thank you, Keyboard G. And I agree, William. It's nice to see a variety of devices reviewed. I agree. I'm of that opinion as well. It's nice to see all the choices out there. Again, not for everyone. And here's the other thing. I got criticized. Another thing on that, and it's kind of interesting to me, at least, to talk about it. Why did I put in the spec section the starting price of, I think it was what, $1649 or whatever it was? That was the starting price. If you go to Dell's or Alienware's website or Dell's website, it will give you that as a starting price. And what I did say right after that was the exact price, over $4,000 and change, for that specific configuration of that review unit, right? So I got criticized for saying I'm trying to deceive them. Well, how dare me? And by the way, it worked. And a very nice score. We're looking at 2426 single core, which is really good, and 12,549 on the multi-core. So actually pretty impressive so far. But again, I have a feeling that 12,549 is going to go up as I load in some of the updates and so forth. But that's pretty decent so far. So good single, good multi-core performance. Let me take a screenshot. All right, so we'll get to that in the video. No, I can never win. That's for sure. I will, Justin, I will run it. I don't know if I'm going to do it on the live stream because I have to load Steam and all that. It takes time, and then download the game. Core i9-47 being reviewed. It is correct. The Core i9 13, what is this? The 13900H, 45 watts, 14 cores. I think that's 8 performance and what is that, 6 efficiency or vice versa? I don't know. And then 20 threads. The GPU has a 50, it's a 50 watt GPU on the 4070 for those wondering. Okay, let me close this. So we're able to get that working. And by the way, let's test the OpenCL while we're here on that 4070 real quick. Has Dell standardized everywhere on CAM memory across its entire line? Crazy Elf, not that I'm aware of. I know they were pushing the envelope on the precision that I looked at, the 7670 from last year. I did the quote-unquote thin model or slim model, whatever they called it, and then the performance model. By the way, both very impressive. The CAM memory is an interesting choice, and I think they're trying to change the standard. I haven't seen anything since then, but I know they have stuff that they're working on, of course, always. So we'll see. Question, can you run the Crystal Disk speed test? Of course I can. That'll be next. 92,472. Okay. And I guess I want to also bring in the other one because I want to see what it did last year with that 3050 Ti. All right. So let's close this. Let's close this out and let's get the speed of the test working here, of the SSD rather. So let me go to my downloads. Let me go to Crystal Disk Mark. Let me extract that. And then how long have we been live streaming for already? God, almost an hour. Can you believe this? So let's, now keep in mind, I do have the 512, right? So I didn't go for the more storage. Sometimes the higher capacity will give you better numbers, but hopefully, obviously, we're expecting Gen 4 out of this. This is a $3,000 laptop with a Core i9. I hope they were using good SSDs here, and not disappointed with that read, that's for sure. 7109. I will show that next, Raphael. Thank you. What would I do without Raphael, William, everybody? So getting back to what I was saying earlier while this is running, I got criticized for putting the starting price and then seeing somehow they thought I was trying to deceive them. You know me, I give you my disclaimer up front, very upfront in my channel, you know that. Full transparency always. So you come first. So if it's something sponsored, like I'm working with Best Buy to do sponsored content, I tell you right away, I put it in with a chapter. You can skip past it if you don't want to. I do that on other videos that I don't want to listen to an advertisement, but some people find value, that there are some great deals over at Best Buy, right? Anyway, so I got criticized heavily on that. I don't take it personally. I don't really care. The video is what it is. I did a lot of work on it, and I think it's a good video. So hopefully you can check it out. All right. I think Cam, so I think Cam only used for precision. Yeah, right now it's only on precision. That is correct. I have not heard any other brands other than Dell and any other line other than the precision using Cam memory. So what did it stand for? Compression attached memory modules or something to that effect. I think that if I just said it correctly, I deserve credit, but I probably butchered it. So who knows? It is valuable, Andrew. Great speed. Yeah, it is great speed so far, but we'll see what the writes are. And this is only 512 gigabytes. So very impressive so far. Don't be surprised if after loading the Microsoft March update that Crystal Disk Mark requires test drop. I have seen it on my new Spectre. Yes, you've talked about that. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about the criticism. Can't please everyone. Most important thing is that you're happy. I agree 100% with Josh. And, having a channel, you know what it's like, the pressure of having to produce, right? The dealing with the brands, the time frames, the time deadlines, right? Having to do all the testing, the filming, the scripting. It is just pretty daunting. People think I just turn the camera on and boom, we have a video ready to go. Everybody's happy. We're making millions of dollars. News, folks, that's not how it works. First of all, I'm not making millions of dollars. If I was, that would be great, and I'm not against it, but not happening, folks, not happening. And making these videos requires dedication, consistency, money, drive, and then you also have to have a passion for it. You have to like what you're doing. If I'm not doing this, if I'm not enjoying it, then I'm wasting my time. And I don't want to do that. And I'm sure, like Josh, you probably go through the same things, I'm sure, as any creator does. And when you build up a certain size channel like we have, then, that's what happens. A lot of pressure. Especially the stakes get higher. As you have more views and more of an audience, the stakes get higher. For my channel, it's 3 hours production of each minute of content. Now, there you go. And a great way to support the channel is by hitting the like button. Thank you. I appreciate that, Raphael. I do appreciate that. One Bad Van is saying, we all know you're not a billionaire, obviously. Well, what can I say, right? Nah, not quite. Even a millionaire I'd like to be, believe me. I'm just putting in the time and the effort, not because I'm making a lot of money with this. It's because I like it. I like doing this, because if I was getting paid per hour, as Josh alluded to, it's not much. Believe me, my other career pays a lot more money. That's for sure. Tell us about the thermals. Hot if used, or the laptop feels good. Actually, I got to say this, just feeling it now. Thank you for bringing that up. While it's running these benchmarks, lukewarm, not hot at all. Not hot at all. I do hear the fans. So, and I'll take measurements of all that, of course. And for those who want to see the back of the unit, there's the grill right there. So a lot of the heat is dissipating through this grill. And thanks, Raphael, for linking to Josh's channel. Excellent. If you like thorough reviews, yeah, you're going to love his channel. That's for sure. All right. So details. The devil's in the details, as they say. All right. So, and here's the other thing some people don't like. I'd like them to put this logo, the XPS logo, instead of this logo. I've said that in the past, of course. All right. So looking good as far as that. Let me take a screenshot, and then we can take a look at the camera. So excellent speeds. Good job, Dell. All right. So let me load in the infamous camera here. 720p in all its glory. So actually, let me see. It's not, I mean, look, it's 720p, right? I mean, it's an IR. Is it I think it is an IR camera. Let me see here. Let me go to the settings. I think it's IR. But I didn't log in with the Windows credentials. So let me see. So let me go to accounts. Let's go to sign-in options. Yeah, so I didn't put my password, but yeah, it's an IR camera. Whoa, that's why I think Josh's videos are one of the best out there. Absolutely. XPS logo would look a lot more sleek for sure. Yeah, so this is the camera. It's 720p, 30 frames per second. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. So to give you an idea, so this is the 4K camera, and I can show you here right now. This is the cam link that I have connected to my Mac Studio. It's from Dell. It's called not the cam link, the Dell webcam. And let me bring it onto here. So the one on your right this is 4K. So this is going to be a lot better. So this is sold by Dell. This is their ultra sharp webcam. I've got the auto framing and all that. And this is what they're putting on their Dell XPS 15. So if you want a better camera, and I can show you, well, you can sort of see it here. Hold on, you can see it here. This is what it looks like. See? So this is the camera, and it attaches to your monitor and so forth, and that's how it works. So pretty interesting. Comes with a nice cap that can stick magnetically, so you can close it. So pretty good. But getting back to this camera, you can see the difference. So the one on the right is the ultra sharp 4K, and then the one on the left is the internal camera on the XPS 15. So according to Keyboard G, the camera needs to be better. Crazy Dell is still shopping this. Colors look crushed. Not great. A little dull to me. But I've said that before. I wasn't expecting. Once I saw what the refresh this year was, it was only going to be internally. I didn't expect the camera to change. Once they go to a different body, if they're going to do an XPS 15 Plus, then maybe we're looking at something better. But actually, I think this one's pretty good. So let me know what you think. Let me take that off. So that's the Dell webcam. All right. So that's that. So the camera, not so great. Let me close that. All right. I mean, look, it'll get the job done, right? But I think at $3,000, it needs to be better than just getting the job done. Okay, there was something else I wanted to do. So Raphael reminded me, go to the camera. We did that. I don't think we're going to open it up today because it's going to be the same. In fact, what I could do, let me show you what it looks like internally. Let me close this. Let me open Chrome, and I'll get to it right in a moment. So let me go to my video. Dell There's XPS 15 9520 review. Let's see which one comes up. Of course, Lisa's there, of course, which I'd expect it to be. She's great. And then who we have? Hardware Canucks. Oh, look at that. Number 3. All right, so let's go to the internal section. All right, this is what it's going to look like, folks. Hold on, let me get to the right point here. Okay. All right, what am I doing, folks? Hold on. Let me go to the user upgradability. Okay, there we go. So to get in, you need to remove the T5's Torx screws, right? And then use the pry tool to open it up. I don't think we need to do it. It's the same thing. All right, let's pause it there. So as you can see, there are 2 SODIMM slots for the RAM upgrades. You've got an 86 watt-hour battery, 2 downward-facing speakers. I think there's quad speakers on this. I think it has the Waves Max audio, and it might have Dolby Atmos as well. And then, of course, you can see the 2 fans for the cooling. And then you'll see 2 M.2 slots for the SSD. So this is exactly what you would find in the in this year's 9530. So I don't think it's. I'll open it up for the video when I get to that. But here it is. Here it is. So let me know. I mean, there's really no reason to open it up if that's the case. So I don't think I looked earlier to see what was the difference online, and apparently this did not change. So that is that. Okay, that is the internals on user upgradability. We're now at 1 hour and 8 minutes. I think we're going to call it soon here. Let's see. So Carlos has got a jet. Great stuff. Thank you, my friend, for coming by. Are you going to do any 3D Mark test or anything to get an idea of gaming? So I can. Let's load in. Let's do that. Maybe the last thing we do. Let me go to my download folder here. Let me get the 3D Mark. That may take a couple of minutes to load in here. So let me go to the downloads. So we'll do a time spy, right? We'll do the time spy. For me, yours is the first to pop up. All right. Good to see Michael Pepper Tech. Andrew, I'm curious what laptop on the Windows side has the best speakers you've heard. I would give that to the Lenovo Yoga 9i. I thought they did a good job with the spatial audio, the Dolby Atmos, and of course it has that rotating sound bar. Windows, I think that's the best. But overall, MacBook Pro, definitely the 16-inch and the 14 inches is fantastic. They do the fantastic with the audio. I've said that before. So that's copying over. Let that do that. We could take some more of your questions. We'll run that. Now, I will have to put in my, well, I guess I don't need to put in my key for that because we're running Time Spy. That's available to everybody. I do have the professional version of 3D Mark and PC Mark that I use. So, all right. So while we're waiting for that to transfer over to my download on this laptop, I will take some more of your comments. And I agree, Keyboard G, it's got to be better. Anyway, what do you people think about Windows laptop speakers so far? Do you have any suggestions as what's up there? Anything comparable in your opinion as to the MacBook Pro as when you want to consider it? We can even take a look at them side by side here. While this is loading, actually, that reminds me, I wanted to bring in, that's what I wanted to do. I want to bring in last year's version. So this has the 3050 Ti. And let me see if I had already run some of the benchmarks. I don't remember, to be honest with you. So let me go here. Let me see. Screenshots. Yeah. So I have some benchmarks we could look at. So we did the Geekbench. So this is the difference we're seeing so far. So let me go to screenshots. So this was the initial. So let's put it here. Lower that brightness a little bit. It's still blown out. So this one, and let me lower this one. So this one did a little bit better on the single, 2426. This did 2366. So again, you might want to look at last year's to save some money. It multi-core 11,354, 12,549. There's a little bit higher wattage, but it's only a 3050 Ti. This is the 3070. I think this is 60 watts. This is 50 watts. That might be a difference there. So there you go. So that's the Geekbench 6. Okay. Then we looked at, on this one, let's go to the R15. And what did I get on this one? So this one did a little bit better on the GPU, 218, and this got 207. And this did a little bit better on the Cinebench CPU score. But I think what's going on, things are updating on this. So don't take it for what I would take it with a grain of salt. I think when everything's fully loaded in and everything, not on the first boot, it should be a little bit better. But again, lower wattage on this one than this one. So pretty interesting. Okay. So let's go to the next one. And let's see, what did we get here? So the Cinebench R20 got 6,000 score, 6,030. This one I may not have. I don't know if I ran this one. I might not have run it. Let me see if I have it. I don't have it, but we can look in the video, right? Didn't I just look at the video? So if I go to the video, let me go to the performance numbers. Okay. So the performance numbers, the R20 last year got 6,054. Okay. Oh, and I have that. Sorry, I said it's a 45 watt 3050. Is that correct? 45 watt versus 50 watts. So this is 50 watts. This is 45. So I must have misstated that earlier. But anyway, 6,054 versus, so it was on this one, 6,054. So very similar. Again, I don't think all the drivers are loaded in. So just keep that when you're looking at this, keep that in mind. Let me see what else I ran. So let's go to stress test. It passed, but let me go to, so this one this is the last year's, did a 4,919 on the time spy. So that's what I want to see. So let's see if this is now under the downloads. Let me load in 3D Mark. I have to install it. Let's see, and then we'll probably call it a day, but let's get this loaded in. Let me go next. It may take about a few minutes, but let's get this loaded in. So I'm not seeing a huge upgrade in terms of the performance yet. Again, Core i9, this is a Core i7. Again, thermals play a big part of this, folks. So we'll see. Again, all the drivers have not been updated, so we'll see. Needs more bass, 9 out of 10 overall. According to the Asus ZenBook Flip 15 2-in-1, got the Harman Kardon tuning and Dolby Atmos solid speakers. 30% is loud enough, but even if I put it to 100%, there's a ton of distortion. See, that's where the MacBooks, I think, do a good job. That's where I think they do a good job. So, all right, so this is loading in. We'll run the time spy and see how that does. And let me see if there's anything. So we'll leave it on that for now. We want to beat 49.19. Again, I think you can save about $750 if you go with the last year's model. So link again in description. You can choose between 13th and the 13th gen processor or 12th gen. It's all there. So this takes a few minutes to load in. Anyway, let's get to your comments and questions. Yeah, we finally got to it. Now, Dell Latitude 9430 definitely had some nice speakers. I agree with that. Can't wait to get the 9440 into the studio. That thing, to me, that's the XPS with the plus with the corrections that I wanted to see. We'll talk more about that when I do get a review unit. That should be coming at some point. And I like what William's saying here. Once one gets used to these devices for a while, they all get used to the speakers. Although I gotta say, having good speakers, let's not discount that. The sound is very important as well. Let me just respond to this real quick. All right, so Andrew, do you have an external drive loaded up with the test and just easily transfer them? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I did that. This is a drive right here. Well, it's a micro SD card. I should probably put it on an SSD, an external SSD. Probably would be better. So what I do, Michael, is again, like I said, I load them onto this little micro SD card slot, and then I transfer them over to the individual laptop, so I don't have to download them, from the sites and so forth. That could take time. We got the XPS 9510 OLED 15-inch. I have the 9510 here as well. That's my own personal unit. See how long it takes to load 3D Mark. That's why I was a little hesitant, but we'll get it. We'll get it. It's almost there. Yeah, it's a great laptop. 9510. I have it in white here. While we're loading all this in, let's put this one over here. So this is this current generation. This is last year, and this is the year before that. So isn't that, well, I know it's a little blown out because of the white, because of the camera, but it is pretty gorgeous. Let me see if this one will look a little better. Well, it's hard. It's hard with the white. So yeah. So let me tell this person who's calling that I'm busy live streaming. All right, so the white is pretty nice with the Arctic interior. It's got the glass woven. You can see here. Let me fix this. I can't, it's bothering me. So it darkens the blacks a little bit, but this will it'll be less blown out. So this is my own personal unit. And I still use it. So here it is. And now one thing I did notice is it does get scratches. Look, see? So I've been using this for the last couple of years. So still covered under warranty with a return period. Yeah. So you can save a good amount. Yeah, no, like I said, it's not for me, but yes, if I think that the last year's is better, I would definitely do that. Absolutely. Again, we're testing everything out. We'll see. Yeah, okay, let me just tell her I'm almost done. My wife is starting, something's going on. All right. So let me go back to the chat here. That's still loading in. Can you believe that? Yeah, haptics would be great. Haptics would be great. I don't see anything for the 9530. It's available for the 9520 as an option, as I showed earlier in the stream. And the white is pretty nice, but to be honest with, and it stays cleaner, but this does scratch. This is my fault. I should have put a skin or something a little bit more careful. My personal unit is the white XPS 13 Plus. It's absolutely gorgeous. Do I have that here? I have that here somewhere. So yes, I agree. It is absolutely gorgeous. The white, one issue though that you will have to be content with is if the backlight is white against white. So sometimes hard to see the contrast. After watching this for a while, all these machines look alike. Well, these two certainly do. These two certainly do. Agent 09, good to see you. A con that Dell does that I've learned about XPS line is the CPU's boost setting is set to aggressive, which kicks the fan in like crazy. Since I've deactivated boost mode, my XPS has been silent. Well, that's a good point. That's pretty good. So what did you go into? Did you have to go in the BIOS to do that? That's pretty interesting. So Michael Torkerman is asking, does the 2023 model use a vapor chamber for cooling? Otherwise, the Core i9 is kind of too much, and I think I might be in that camp with you. I'm in the market for the 17-inch, but I'm afraid the trackpad defect. So far, the trackpad is good on this. I have not had an issue, but I do agree. Maybe the i9 is overkill. Maybe the i7 would be a more thermal, for thermal considerations, might be a better choice. We'll see. I could return. Listen, I just took delivery of it, so. So how have the fan noise? The fan noise, you do hear it. You definitely hear it, but nothing out of the ordinary. Right now it's silent because nothing's happening. Well, it's still installing this 3D Mark. Wow, it's taken a while, but that's a big install. That is something that does take a little bit of time. Reg edit to enable a setting that Dell hides. Very interesting, Agent 09. Maybe you have to try that. Fan noise is definitely an issue for some. That's why some people love the Macs. Now, let me say, I do have the MacBook Pro 14, M1 Pro, and I've rarely ever heard the fans come on. Maybe a couple of times in the year that I've had it. I've not, even when I'm rendering 4K 60 on Final Cut Pro or DaVinci Resolve, I still don't hear the fans come on that MacBook, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. Plenty of YouTube videos on how to unhide the settings. It's a 2-minute process. Well, we may have to check that out. Thank you for that tip, Agent 091. Very nice. This is still loading in, for those wondering. So, yeah, it's still loading. And it says it may take some time. All right, but I am curious to see what 3D Mark score will get. We may have to wait for the video, people, because I do have somebody, they're delivering a car, and I need to be out there. All right. Have you tried, iCracker's asking, have you tried any GPU stuff on the 9530 at all? Not yet. Well, we did test the GPU on the Cinebench R15 and on the, that's about it. And we did the compute test on the Geekbench 6, but nothing serious, nothing, with the 3D Mark, I'm still waiting for it to load in. So we'll get to that. Yeah, thank you very much, and good to see you as well. So Michael rendered where is that? There it is. Michael rendered a 10-minute 1080-60 video on the ZenBook, and it took 87 seconds with the 12700H, and the fans went on full speed. But whatever Asus did, they were fairly quiet sounding and pressed. Yeah, no, the fans will definitely kick in if it's on a Windows laptop. The Bugatti family ride. Not quite. Actually, it's a car for our son. They're delivering it. So... a great way to support Andrew is by hitting the like button. Wow. All right. Please. So I may not get to this 3D Mark after all because I have to sign for the car, for the Bugatti, the Ferrari that they're delivering. This is taking way too long, and there's nothing to do with the Dell. It's just this always takes this long. Just don't realize it until you're on a live stream and you're on a time crunch. Isn't it amazing, such a high-end processor and an SSD with good reads and write specs that takes a long time to load 3D Mark program? It's not, I would put that, it's just a large program. It's as simple as that. That's the problem. So, and I have it on the full speed. I got it all, everything there. So I'm going to have to probably give you the result in the video that I'm going to release on this. So we'll see. I can't wait for the full review. The 4070 and 9530 has tons more power compared to the old 30 from what I've heard. Well, so far, I'm not seeing a huge difference, to be honest. So closing in on 140,000 subs. Yeah, I think we're about 200 short. So if you do me a favor, if you're not already subscribed, why not hit the subscribe button? It doesn't cost anything, and it helps me out. So why not? But don't do it if you just doing it to do that. Just only if you really like the channel. I don't want to make you subscribe to something you're not really interested in. Anyway, leave it for your video review. I will. I think I'm going to do that. This is taking way too long. Let's give it a couple of more minutes, and then I got to go because I got to sign for the Lambo that's coming. All right. Well, it's always fun, right? To always do this stuff. Again, the positives I've taken away so far is upgradable RAM, upgradable SSD, gorgeous OLED display. That's not changed. That's the same as last year. You'd get that in that last year's model. What you're getting is a 13th Gen H series processor. I have the i9. I don't think most people need to get the i9. I think the i7 will be perfectly fine. We get a 4070 GPU this time around. So let's see. We'll run all the numbers. We'll do the gaming test. We'll do all the benchmarks as we normally do. I'll get a video out probably by the weekend. I'll probably get my unboxing and then plus some of these extra benchmarks out. Probably maybe tomorrow even. I don't know. I got a lot of work to do tonight on this, so we'll see. We'll see. Yes, happy Easter for those that are celebrating. I think is tomorrow Good Friday. And then happy Passover for those celebrating Passover. And what is it? Ramadan for those that are celebrating Ramadan. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. And as far as Christine Roy, she's got the Surface Go tablet, right? And docked it. It's a silent desktop, right? I don't know if there's a fan in right. There might be fanless if I remember correctly. Yeah, you get spoiled by the silence. Agent 091, looking forward to hearing about the trackpad. The XPS line and trackpads haven't been consistent in the quality. So far, this one is okay. I haven't had any issues. So we'll see. We'll see. So with that being said, this is about to be installed here. So I might as well hit the run button and we'll see. And thank you, Just Josh, as well. I'll give you the result when it's done. I don't know if we're going to have time to run it right now. But let's call it a live stream here. And then we'll pick it up in the video. Maybe I'll do another live stream on the weekend, 48 hours in, see how everything's going. But so far, it's looking good. I'm very impressed with it. Again, very compact, very sleek looking, which I absolutely love. But again, you know, we're going to test all the thermals. We'll do everything. One thing I noticed, it never got very hot tonight. So that is a good sign. These definitely got hotter, that's for sure. No USB-A ports. They do give you the dongle, which gives you, of course, the HDMI and the USB-A, but you get the 2 Thunderbolt ports. Okay, so let me put it back on me. Let's hit the music. I want to thank the moderators for once again doing such a great job. I'm glad you were able to, everybody come in to this live unboxing of the Dell XPS 159530. I will have videos on that coming. Plenty of stuff on that, comparison videos, everything as I normally do. And then, of course, more stuff coming. Too many things to talk about just now, but that's all on the way. So until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.